It is good to be back. Hello, it is the HFC Sonic-a-thon dose. Incentive block number 2, I believe, where we will be playing some fan games. And I, Volkamar, shall be playing the before and after the sequel fan games. Starting, of course, with BTS, because starting with the first one just makes sense, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got Tom with me today to join me in my jaunt in BTS. And I guess we can just get started straight away. So let's get into this and watch the old intro.
It shouldn't be sold, it's not an official game. Ooh, very cool. I gotta say, like, as big a Sonic fan as I am, I've never really been super into the fan game side of stuff, so this will actually be my first time seeing, like, before the sequel in any meaningful sort of way. I'm kind of excited for this.
Oh, yes. BTS was a very good sort of concept in terms of how one of these games might well work. LakeFeperd, who, of course, developed this whole thing, and you may well know him as the person who also pioneered Spark the Electric Jester.
Oh, cool.
So he experiments with a bunch of stuff here. He goes by the 3 act per zone system, and on top of that, he also has cutscenes in between each of the actual levels. And this particular version of BTS we'll be playing today will actually allow us to watch all of these cutscenes in their glory. Unfortunately, ATS, on the other hand, since those are all done via Flash, there's actually no current way in which to actually get those working. But we'll get to that when we get to ATS. But for now, with BTS, that is not a problem. So we'll get to watch those in all of its glory. Alright, let's start things off. And we start in Hilltop Height Zone.
Alright, so explain to me how this works exactly. Like, do we have to get the Chaos Emeralds and defeat Robotic at the end?
No. At this point in the game, we actually have all 6 Chaos Emeralds, because this takes place before the sequel, so this will take place after Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Ah.
And we have 6 of the Chaos Emeralds, and the 7th one will come into play. But I won't spoil too much.
Okay. So what I'm seeing here, this is like a mix of Hilltop Zone and Sky Sanctuary.
A bit of Sky Sanctuary, a bit of the old Green Hill motifs as well. They throw in a bunch of, like, the levels are usually a blend of, like, 1 or 2 different zones in Sonic's past. So you might see a bit from, like, Sonic 2 and 3, you might see a bit from Sonic CD, you might even see bits from Sonic Heroes and some of the more recent 3D games that came out around the time that this was developed.
Interesting.
And in this version of BTS as well, I don't believe this was included initially, but you do actually have access to the drop dash in this version.
Ah.
Because, of course, since Mania pioneered it, it just seemed to be the thing that everybody wanted.
I guess that's what the plus thing is referring to on the title screen.
Yeah, the plus also refers to a couple of other things as well, such as widescreen. I think there's a couple of other quality of life changes as well thrown in there, but I can't remember off the top of my head what those actually are. But
Okay.
in premise, the game is pretty much the same as it was in the original version of BTS. It just adds widescreen and a bunch of other nice gubbins in there, including just the ability to watch cutscenes, which obviously is very, very nice. And I'm not sure why ATS doesn't have it exactly, but I'm not sure if it has something to do with the way that this game was developed, that it pretty much shed its dependence on the Flash engine. Because unlike other games that usually end up getting fan-made, this is not a ROM hack, it is a full-blown fan game, which means it has its own engine, it has its own execution file, etc, etc. So it is all very much contained within its... as I try and jump on the string. It's all very much contained within its own thing, so there's no reliance on having to have a pre-existing ROM or anything like that.
Right.
And I believe that's usually where a lot of fan games are tending to go these days, at least if Sages of the last 2-3 years is anything to go by. It just gives you a lot more freedom than just using a pre-existing engine, because you can literally add whatever assets you fancy rather than having to sort of Frankenstein something together.
For sure. Yeah, it's funny for how open Sega is with just the concept of fan games in general. It's kind of funny that the new character in Sonic Frontiers is called Sage. That's going to make searching for Sage-related things kind of tricky in the future.
Yeah, most likely. I'm sure they'll find a way around it. If there's something that the Sonic community is good at, it is being resourceful, and improvisation is definitely something that's in their blood. That's why we got such a gift to Sonic Mania to begin with.
Indeedy so, mate.
They were resourceful enough to the point where Sega went, you know what? If you think you can do a better job, here you go. You give it a go. And of
Make
course,
it your fucking self.
And we did.
Whoa, nice bounce.
Thank you. What? Another thing to note with this game is that it's not necessarily difficult, but it does try and challenge you every now and again. But the game itself is very fair, and that translates very well into ATS as well. Like, there's very little about the game that sort of like makes you think, oh, that's a little bit unfair. I don't like that. Which is quite nice, because this is a very neat game just to get into casually. And, you know, just have fun, listen to the tunes, of which there are plenty, and almost all of them are just fantastic. What? I love a nice row of television rings.
I was going to say, just a little treat for you there.
It's like, yeah, just take all these. It's just like, oh, why, thank you. So one thing we'll be getting into in just a moment is how the special stages work. So, of course, since we already have all 6 Chaos Emeralds, special stages are more just there in order to grant you extra lives, as opposed to basically enabling you to acquire the MacGuffins.
Okay.
In ATS, you are actually compelled to collect the emeralds, but the reasoning behind that I'll actually leave until later. But of course, in BTS, you know, this takes place after Sonic 1, they assume you got the good ending, so you got all the emeralds. So, you're not necessarily sort of pressured into having to collect enough coins to get into the special rings and all that malarkey, so at the end of every third act, you get a bonus ring, no matter how many rings you end up with. And you get taken into a special stage, which looks a bit like this.
Okay.
And it's an auto-scroller, a few platforms here and there, lots and lots of rings to collect, and usually the idea is that you try and collect as many as you can and get an extra life. I believe there's 1 or 2 special stages that allow you to get more than one, but I think that tends to come later on. I don't think in the first couple of special stages there's like enough rings to get yourself more than one, even if you're playing like super duper optimally, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm very much not at the moment, but
it's fine, mate, don't worry about it.
There we go.
Kind of reminds me of Sonic Runners. I've been playing Sonic Runners Revival the past couple of days since Tanner showed it off.
Oh, nice. But yeah, each of the special stages here, since you're guaranteed to get them, and obviously they're at the end of Act 3 of each zone, they can actually go ahead and they take on the motif of the actual zone that you were just in.
Oh, cool.
So you'll notice like all the backgrounds and such are different. And we get treated to our first cutscene. You'll notice that some of these assets are like edited or sort of repurposed from like scenes from the cutscenes from Sonic CD and such. But the guy behind it, I believe his name is Triangly, I think was one who made the cutscenes. I might be wrong on that one, but Triangly is a name that usually comes up in BTS and ATS, so I'm assuming it's him. And the bosses tend to follow a very similar kind of MO, I guess, is probably the best way to go about it. So usually there's an auto-scrolly type sequence, and Robotnik has a machine of some description. So in this case, he's got Brum from the famous children's TV show.
Something was tickling in my brain. Thank you for bringing it up.
And as the game goes on, obviously they'll get progressively more and more challenging, and sometimes they may ask you to do a bit of platforming here and there, but they'll usually throw multiple spanners into the works as the game progresses. But you sort of know what you're getting into with the bosses ahead of time, so you're not really surprised aside from whatever new mechanics wind up coming up along the process of the game.
Alright, so that was Zone 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 zones.
Yeah, although some of those zones I think only have 1 or 2 acts, and those are the ones that usually come a lot later on.
Okay. Now, just as a reminder, the second HFC Sonic-a-thon is raising money for Child's Play, which is an organisation that provides kids staying long-term in hospital with toys and games to help ease their stay. We met our grand goal of $5,000 for the charity a few days before the end of the main block, but we've still got time to raise a bit more for the kids, so if you would like to help, there's a donate button beneath the stream window, or you can follow this link if you're on mobile. Every penny goes directly to the charity, thanks to the module we set up.
Marvelous, marvelous stuff. And congrats as well, by the way, for raising over $5,000. That is insanely good.
Thank you, mate.
As I get high off my ass as Tails.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I don't know what the name of those puffballs are meant to be, but the only reason I know about them is from that one terminal montage video of Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, they're fuzzies, I believe.
And are they known to cause psychedelic experiences?
That is the exact same thing that happens in Yoshi's Island. They mess up your controls and the screen goes a bit wonky.
Well, this one doesn't mess up your controls, but yeah, it does mess up your depth perception something fierce. Like, you'll jump thinking that you're going to clear this spike pit easily, and turns out no, you're just going to jump straight into the goddamn thing. So, as you may well notice, we are now playing as Tails, and this is where BTS is actually very much still unique as far as ATS goes. So, the idea is that, you know how in Sonic Adventure 2 you have like your Team Hero and your Team Dark story?
Yeah.
It's a very similar premise, except you're playing both stories side by side. So, you're alternating between each zone playing as Sonic and Tails. So in this case, we are now playing as Tails, and obviously this is treated as sort of Tails' introduction to Sonic. So Sonic comes along, kills a few badniks. Tails, I imagine, gets a little bit starstruck and is just like, ooh, I'm gonna see what he's all about, and proceeds to try and follow him. But Sonic, being the person that he is, pretty hard to catch up with him. So a good portion of Tails' section is actually just him sort of following along in Sonic's coattails, so to speak. Although all of his zones are unique, so they sort of take place sort of, I guess, in similar locales, or I guess they're just nearby.
Jesus.
The music even goes all kooky as well. Another thing you might notice as well is Tails' running animation. He has the classic spinny feet, rather than what you might be used to with the sort of helicopter tail spinning around behind him. So this is obviously a time where Tails hadn't quite mastered that sort of method of transportation yet, but we know he gets there in time.
So is this meant to be like where Tails came from, or is it just a random zone?
Well, it's not so much where Tails came from. I think it's more of a case of Tails is obviously in the area at the time. There are badniks, you know, causing no good. Sonic just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and Tails is like, oh, he all knows what's going on, and then proceeds to follow him. At least that's my assumption. You know, with the cutscenes, it's nothing, like, explicitly said or anything like that, so there's still, like, room for viewer interpretation and all that, which is pretty nice. You can sort of make up your own sort of little story about what might be happening.
Yes.
But that's pretty much my headcanon at the very least, so whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't necessarily matter, because, like I said, it's entirely open to interpretation.
There's some assets from Aquatic Ruin Zone back there.
Oh, yes. And little bits of Palm Tree Panic from CD, I believe, as well.
Yes, mate, yeah.
I have to admit, my knowledge of CD isn't nearly as good as like the traditional 3. I never got a Sega CD, and even when they like re-released it on PC and things like that, I never got around to picking them up for whatever reason.
I've got the Sonic Retro article for the game here, so if there are any tropes you don't recognize, I'll be able to point them out.
Marvelous. Also, the Act 3 version of this song, for whatever reason, like the first 16 seconds reminds me. You remember Family Fortunes that used to be on Channel 4?
Oh, sort of.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the beginning jingle of that, without the bit that goes da 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 da. Tasty lives, can't get enough of those. In one case, literally not. I remember when I was doing my practice for this game, actually, I died a fair bit during the last few zones, and they do get pretty tricky towards the end, but thankfully I have practiced and completed this game a couple of times at this point, so I should be fine now, but, you know, better safe than sorry.
Are you going for a hit every bandit percentage, mate?
Yes, how did you know?
Ah, Jesus. Only the best for the HFC livestream.
But of course, you know, I've been away for a while, I wanted to treat people.
Now I'm back again in Wild Canyon. Hey, there you go.
What I have noticed that's actually quite nice in BTS, with the exception maybe being for the last few zones, because obviously for the last few zones you expect them to be quite long. The zones are nice and short, but they're at least, you never get the feeling like they're not really involved in any way.
Yeah, they're just right.
Yeah, you get your money's worth. And, well, you definitely get your money's worth, the thing's fucking free after all. And we get treated to a remix of the Sonic 3D Flicky's Island special stage tune.
Ah, I thought it sounded familiar.
And it's done in, I think it's ragtime style, I think this is classified as. Where it's sort of like a sort of tuned piano kind of dealio. I gotta say, some of the special stage remixes especially are very nice, but there's one track towards the end especially that's a remix of a pre-existing Sonic song, which I absolutely adore. But I won't spoil it just yet, but you'll know it when I get there.
God, a Sonic anime done by Studio Trigger would be amazing.
I feel like they'd get like the sense of motion just absolutely crisp. So this is Tails' Big Bad. I'm not sure if it has a name, but I know from, because I played ATS before BTS because I'm silly like that.
You're a rebel.
And in ATS, he had the ability to control weather and all that malarkey. Whereas here, he's sort of like a more traditional, I guess, Super Badnik? Sort of in a similar sense to how Knuckles' boss is like the weird Robotnik.
I'm just kind of put in mind of like the Resnor bosses from Mario World.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, there is actually a way that you can sort of get in between the two flippers mid-hit, and you can actually ping-pong between them and just get multiple hits in, but he goes down in 5, so it's not necessarily, like, a long fight anyway, but it's more one of those things I think it's just a bugbear of the engine. Littering, you can't just leave that there. And here we go, we're back with Sonic.
Yeah, buddy.
And this zone probably has one of my like favorite series of soundtracks, I guess. I don't think it has like it has one of my favorites individually, but it's definitely up there in terms of the entire sort of 3-act platter, so to speak.
Ooh. I will have to, obviously, after the fact, just go on YouTube and listen to this independent of a stream.
I would highly recommend it.
I actually avoided it just so I could listen to it for the first time here.
Oh, nice. Alright. Now I'm down here. How do I not be down here? Ah, there we go. Of course, red springs, they bounce you higher, because orc philosophy, I guess. Red ones go faster. Red ones spring you higher.
You could have also gone on those wheels back there and spun up, because I think they have the same properties as the stuff in Scrap Brain Zone.
Kind of. I'm not sure if those ones in particular, since I don't think they stick in the same way, but the physics, I think, match up where if you're sort of approaching it at speed, you'll sort of travel along the entire circumference.
Okay.
Just gotta be careful of that sod over there with his mortar cannon.
Sir shoots a lot.
Wouldn't surprise me if that was his actual name. It would certainly be the name I would give it.
Oh, to live on that mountaintop house over there.
Yeah, the views must be spectacular. So, the whole idea behind BTS is obviously the Death Egg is currently being built.
Okay.
So, you might see it in the background every now and again, but you might notice in some of the zones you'll see a Death Egg under construction.
Huh. How's that work then?
Well, I'm not sure, because obviously the Death Egg's being built, I guess, if you're looking at Sonic 3's continuity, roughly around where Sky Sanctuary is situated. So, considering the size and scale of it, you'd probably expect to see it from more or less anywhere. But of course, it's not ready to launch yet or anything like that, so it's sort of like half complete and it's all like strapped to rocket equipment.
Well, yeah, technically it doesn't launch until Sonic 2, but it doesn't really get much use and then it crashes in 3, obviously.
Yeah. But you'll see what the significance of introducing the Death Egg before Sonic 2 comes in. But obviously it's a problem, and Sonic has to sort it out, which is the reason why he is traversing the Great Landscapes, while the most crunchiest bass in the known universe is playing in the background.
Yeah, buddy. There you go, easy does it.
Yep. So yeah, you also have access to the spin dash here. But on top of that, you do also have access to the peel out, but for whatever reason in the sequel games, I can never quite seem to get it to work in the way that it's perhaps intended. So I don't know whether it's just me going, ooh, spam button, you'll go faster, and then just, no, that's not how it works. Or whether I'm missing something else entirely.
I mean, it looks cool, but I've never really found a use for it that, like, the spin dash can't also use.
No, I think the whole idea is that if you're on your feet as opposed to sort of spin dashing, you can sort of maintain your momentum a little bit better. You won't just sort of like stop and then start rolling down the hill. So I suppose there's that benefit, but you do leave yourself open, so you'll probably just go at top speed into a bandit and then just die if you're not careful.
Exactly.
Or at the very least lose your rings. You can tell the bass player was having such a great time when he was making this song. There we go. That's Act 2 in the bag.
Now that felt fairly chunky, but it was still only just under a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because you got those high-speed sections, and it's something that I believe ATS followed through quite a bit as well with one of their particular zones. So you just got one zone where there's a lot of ground to cover, but you are permitted the means in which to traverse it quickly. And just get a real sense of, I guess, what Sonic's most known for, his speed.
Welcome to the chat called Blue Flames. We're raising money for Child's Play here by playing before and after the sequel.
And this is actually a shield they introduce in BTS, and it has multiple hits on it. So you start off with 4, and if you get hit, you'll lose a hit point on it, and obviously when that's all gone, you'll lose the shield. But it's very nice to sort of have a shield that just lasts multiple hits, so you don't have to worry about losing it immediately. If I'm not mistaken as well, it does also make you immune to these spiky balls as well, so it seems like a very OP shield, but I believe it's only in this zone. Like, I can't recall seeing it in any other zone, unless it's like very well hidden away on account of its strength.
Right.
Which wouldn't surprise me, to be fair.
I'm seeing the name Falk Ao Young in the chat. Was he one of the composers in the game?
Falk, I believe, yes, he was one of the composers.
Now, I wouldn't say I followed his work extensively, but I do know he did some, like, demonstrations of how layered music works using Sonic Unleashed. That's the one that sticks with me the most. So to see that he went on to do some stuff for the Sonic Symphony, that's very gratifying.
Definitely. I mean, that just goes to show as well just how good the community actually is when it comes to, well, basically anything Sonic, really. And I got automatically zipped away, so I ended up missing the ring, unfortunately. Just like, no, I want the ring!
I was gonna say, like, you have enough lives?
It's like automated sequences. No!
Man, this is so quaint.
And there it is. The Death Egg. Work in progress. The mix between the sprite work and like the CD stuff as well is quite fun to see.
Yeah.
Like, short of like just drawing things completely from scratch, they've done very well in terms of just using pre-existing stuff to sort of create these little transitions. Alright, second boss time.
Why do, like, most of the bosses have these googly eyes?
Why not? I think Eggman was going through a phase where he just wanted to try and cutify his robots for whatever reason, or just make them look meaner than they actually are.
Ah, it's his new girlfriend, Gruntilda.
Now, he obviously shoots these things on the ground which traverse horizontally. And as he takes more damage, they will gradually get faster, and they become nearly impossible to jump over after a certain point. Which is why it's usually recommended you try and get in front of him and try and bop him that way. And Sonic's trying to set the land speed record for the moonwalk right there.
Oh, don't worry, Cold Blue. This isn't a pay-per-view stream. We've already met our goal. Anything extra will just go straight to the kids we're raising money for. Apparently these are not the original cutscenes?
No. These ones were sort of done, I believe Triangly did some like new ones or something like that, and some of them were sort of either redone or remastered in some way. But the most important thing, especially in today's day and age, is that they work, and I don't have to worry about not having that context.
Alright, so we are now in Lost Level Zone.
Yes, you can obviously see the inspiration from, I guess, both Hidden Palace zones from Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 both, sort of, because it's sort of got that Act 2 sort of lava-y feel as well.
It says here, second level for Tails resembling a mishmash of the Sonic 2 beta levels, Wood Zone, Hidden Palace Zone, and Dust Hill.
And the cutest goddamn badnik ever.
I don't want to destroy him.
He throws out little Hadoukens. It's great. And then you got this guy as well. He's an asshole, but he's still cute, so I let him get away with it. Go on, do your thing. Come on. Don't be shy.
It's okay. We'll let him live. Volk.
He made me look bad.
That's fair.
Don't worry, there'll be more where that came from.
Tonight we dine on Turtlebot soup. So I'm actually playing Shredder's Revenge right now.
Oh, nice. I have heard good things about that game.
Well, not right now. I'm doing commentary review, but still.
But you have been playing it, is what you meant to say.
Indeed. I just beat, I think, level 5? It was the sewer one.
Ah. I haven't actually picked it up myself, so it'll probably be something I grab eventually, now that, you know, I actually have a PS5 and I can actually buy these things.
I have it on Switch. I hope they put, like, crossplay in soon, because that'll be cool, like, you and me have, like, a kart run.
Definitely. And especially considering it's 6-player, crossplay would be the sort of thing it would benefit from greatly, I think. It'll just allow more players to get those massive slogs, like you would get in the arcades. We'll wait patiently. He's gotta wait until I jump, isn't he? Yep. Little bastard.
What an asshole. It's quite warm today, mate, so don't forget to stay hydrated.
Of course, of course. Got my drink on standby here as well, whenever I need it. So here's your wood zone motif. It's actually quite nice how they managed to blend like all of the beta Sonic 2 zones in together.
It's made of wood.
It's wood, and it's a zone. Get it?
Amazing joke. 10 out of 10.
Of course, I only come up with the best original bants. I have to say, this tune isn't like the most striking of all, but I actually really dig it. Like, the whole way, like, the sort of half the music sort of drops out halfway through, and you got just like this one instrumental bit that goes along. It's oddly comfy. That's the best way to describe it.
It is a wooded area. They tend to be kind of like low stakes, if you'll pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that.
So yeah, a little slow falling section there as well. Sorry, I occasionally find myself just tapping Tails' look-up animation because it's just adorably derpy.
This is a very long-lasting invincibility. I'll never mind.
Yeah, ran out at just the wrong time because I was dicking about with Tails' animations.
That was quite possibly my worst timing ever. Okay, now we're in Donkey Kong Country Free Zone.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some inspiration of DKC here as well. Apart from obviously being mostly themed around Wood Zone. Alright, fine. I didn't want to be down there anyway. Another thing I like about this is that they respect the verticals as much as the horizontals. So it's not just always a straight dash, there's like a lot of sections where you sort of have to zigzag a little bit.
I think I read here that one of the levels later is very vertically inclined.
Yes. I believe it's one of the later levels in particular, but I think there's one coming up actually that's a fair bit vertically inclined, technically speaking. In fact, I think it might just be Act 3 of this zone, which has a very, very neat little gimmick. So obviously it has the Hidden Palace Stone from Sonic 2's theme, but you'll notice it's like very bombastic, sort of rocky at the moment. But there is a neat little quirk with the zone, which I should be bumping into momentarily. You'll permit me to keep you in suspense for a bit. There we go.
Oh.
Now it's all nice and frosty.
Very nice.
If there is one thing I am a sucker for, it is dynamically changing music.
Indeed so.
Like, if your game has dynamically changing music, I am all there for it. So, it's probably the reason why I'm like Mick Gordon's #1 fan in particular. But, of course, DMC5 is also up there. As the music sort of evolves, as you sort of perform better. No, love that shit. It's gotta be my favorite gender.
Boing. I love these guys.
The turtles are great. I don't know what possessed them to make Street Fighter Turtles, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah. Getting kind of a Spyro vibe from the music right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, the way that it's remixed, especially. Because obviously we know it as a pre-existing track from, a lost pre-existing track from Sonic 2, but just like the way that the instruments are composed and such, it is very much like a Spyro game.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll probably find that quite a bit as we go through. Like, you'll find a lot of familiar tunes, but the way that they're composed makes you think of other games. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of tracks that just immediately bring you to sort of like Rise Star.
Right. Dimitri asks, speaking of fan games, are you guys going to play Sonic and the Fallen Star? It's the latest one that released, and oh my god, that fan game is just quality.
I have to admit, my finger hasn't really been on the pulse of, like, fan game stuff recently. Like, I don't keep up with Sage to, like, the same degree I keep up with, say, the Sonic hacking contest, for example. But I probably should, because there's a lot of really good stuff that's coming up. I know Neutronic Panic is currently going through a renaissance period where it's just completely redone the game from the ground up, and it looks freaking amazing. Just like the way that it's animated, like all the art style, it's looking really brilliant, and that's one game that I'm personally planning on keeping an eye on.
Is Fallen Star, like, finished? Because I could play on the stream.
Oh yeah, true, I suppose if Tanner's going through a bit of a storm front at the moment, then we got a bit of time to spare.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean today, I mean just, like, in the future.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna be on all day tomorrow, I gotta have, as much rest as possible.
Of course.
Hello, it's me again. Ah!
Bad touch.
What is this Cuphead nonsense?
So this is one where remembering that Tails can fly comes in very handy, because otherwise you're kind of left at the mercy of where you get bounced back to, and usually it's into a projectile.
Mm-hmm.
So, sort of immediately breaking into flight definitely pays dividends.
This is just straight out of, like, colours, both in terms of boss design and literally just the music.
Kind of reminds me, wasn't there a boss in Sonic 4 Episode 2 that was very similar to this?
It might be the final boss, actually. Aww.
Bugger. I timed that wrong. I was aiming to get the coins at the rings, at the very, very top. But, it was not to be. Save that one just in case.
You can have a ring as a treat. Wow, it seems to bounce you in the direction of these projectiles.
It's just the trouble is there's quite a few of them, so you usually wind up in a situation where you will just inevitably get bounced into one. But like I said, if you master your flight timing, you can usually stop yourself on a dime and usually avoid all that, which I'm assuming is what they were intending to do. Otherwise you're sort of left at the mercy of where RNG bounces you.
Okay, so Fallen Star is done. I'll tell you what, I'll look into it.
Hey, there we go.
Nicely done, mate. Don't worry about death error there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got 16 lives, we'll be fine.
10 minutes later, we've got 0 lives, it's fine, it's fine.
In terms of lives, we have no lives.
Ah, what is that in the distance? There it is.
I can't tell if the death egg is upside down or if something else is going on here.
Exit stage left already.
Uh-oh, it's ready to go.
That was quick.
Well, I mean, people seem to forget Eggman isn't exactly incompetent, even though he does act like a boob. While he contemplates the Chaos Emeralds that have been conveniently placed in a USB drive.
Ah. Activate chaosemerald.exe.
Yes. So this is another one of those zones where there's a lot of sort of high-speed sections. So I think very much sort of like your looping sections in Starlight Zone and things like that.
Starlight Zone, mate.
Starlight, yes.
See, the thing about Volkers, he likes to just change words and words sometimes, so you'll get used to it. It's one of Robotnik's deadly speed traps.
Yes. My excuse is that I'm playing a game, but it only goes so far. I just do it in general as well, because I'm just dumb like that.
No, you're not dumb. Are you actually dyslexic?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Well, shit, there goes my last Hail Mary.
I don't believe I am. Like, I can read perfectly fine. It's more just the speaking side of things I tend to fall short on.
Well, it's alright. So all of us here at HFC, despite being commentators, have some quirk in that regard, so you're in fine company, my friend.
Indeed. I mean, it's just one of those things as well in general. Like, it's not easy to speak and play a video game at the same time. Especially if it's one that, like, taxes you a lot, so, like, say a fighting game, for instance, or just something that requires a lot of sort of, like, rapid button inputs and things like that.
I'm gonna have to correct you. It is easy to play a game and talk. It's not easy to play a game well and talk. And I don't mean, like, competently. Anyone can play it competently and talk. To an expert degree, that's when it becomes hard.
Yes, which is something that I'm always sort of envious of the speedrunners community for. But then again, you get to a point where you play a game so much, you just know that game inside and out, and you can kind of just do whatever the hell you want and still play the game just absolutely perfectly.
So I guess this is like some sort of futuristic version of Chemical Plant.
Yeah, I get the feeling like one of the city stages from Sonic Heroes might play into it as well. Or maybe it's just an inspiration of the city stages in general.
Apparently Act 2 has 2 exits leading to 2 different Act 3s. Interesting.
Yep, and in this one we must acquire a taste for freeform jazz.
I'm contemplating.
I love me some jazz. The freeform stuff is just insane, but I love it all the same. Oh, extra life. You shouldn't have.
God, we were running low. Thanks, game.
So this one has sort of like a mini-game of sorts attached to it where sort of like the red coins from Mario, you've got to collect all these stars and that will unlock the way to the next portion. And it gets more and more complex. And seeing as we are in the midst of a city, there is also a road where there are cars driving, so we gotta be careful if we dare to venture further below. There's one over here as well. Can't forget about that one, otherwise I'll be having to backtrack a hell of a lot to get that one. And we go over here, land on that one. And there's a small audio queue as well, so it does inform you when you have in fact found all of them, so you're not just hunting around willy-nilly for God knows how long, just thinking, oh, did I get them all, did I get them all? Two over here as well, and then there's one down at the oncoming traffic, so we need to venture down there.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, last I checked, hedgehogs and traffic don't necessarily mix, but then again, Cityscape was kind of his revenge against the traffic.
Robotics' most deadly zone yet, Farthing Wood.
The M5 zone.
Oh, Jesus. That's one for the Britishers in the audience, yay. Whoa.
Oh, you bastard.
Just taking these rings to the bank and everything.
It's when the tax man nobbles you. He just places all these badniks on the ceilings as you're coming home with your paycheck. And before you know it, 10% of it is just gone.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, bugger me. I dared to go too fast.
He dared to dream. Oh no, not the stars again!
Now, if there's one thing that I will say perhaps against these games is that, at least in BTS, I'm not sure I've ever sort of experienced this problem in ATS, but it feels like the checkpoints are kind of very sporadically placed. Or they're sort of placed in situations where, oh my god! Or they're sort of placed in areas where you just think, oh, I can really do with a checkpoint right about now, and then it's just like, it never arrives. And just there wondering, when's this checkpoint gonna come? And then it's there, and then 30 seconds later you beat the level. Just how it be sometimes, I guess.
You cope and then you deal with it, such is the way of Sonic.
Yep. It's the 3-step program. You cope, you sieve, you mold.
Yeah. Enjoy fine jazz. It's all part of the healing process.
Exactly. Everyone knows that freeform jazz has healing properties, or just drives you to insanity, one of the two. I'm a little shaky on the details.
Silverdude asks, so Tom, since this is your first time seeing before the sequel, what do you think of Sonic Sprite? Do me a favour and just stand still, Bill.
Yep. I'll give you some crouchy animations and such as well.
It's fine, I guess.
I mean, like, I'd rate it fairly highly, personally. Like, it's a very good quality sprite. I think in terms of, like, the animations and such as well, it works very well as well, because, like, with the peel out, he sort of does that whole I'm out and gone, or whatever the hell he says in the Saturday morning cartoon, and he just goes doing.
He says I'm up, over, and gone.
Up, over, and gone. That's the one I was looking for. But yeah, I definitely prefer that to the traditional peel out.
Personally, my favourite Sonic sprite, and I know this is not everyone's favourite, but it's actually Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, I think I know, like, the only real complaint I think people have with Sonic 3 sprite is that it looks a bit too serious, I think is what usually people say.
No, because the other ones, like, looked too serious compared to 3 and Knuckles one.
Yeah. I don't mind it personally. I like 3 sprite a lot. Like, especially the Super and Hypersonic sprites. Those look suitably badass.
Let's focus on getting out of here in one piece.
Yes. Not focus on reading One Piece, otherwise we'll be here forever.
Oh, Jesus, there we go.
Hey. Ah, yes. More jazz! But it's the muffled kind, that's playing from somebody's car, but you can still hear it because they have the stereo in full blast.
It's harder to appreciate.
It's like the whole meme of like, oh, never mind! We can hear it just fine now. Ooh, this is a banger as well. I am a sucker for jazz, what can I say?
Yeah, speaking of, the Portal collection is out now.
Ooh. Just in case nobody has played that one yet.
Yeah, that's you know, kind of relatively unknown game, Portal, and the sequel, Portal 2.
That must have been like, that has to have been like over a decade ago by now, surely.
I will actually look up the original release date, because I'm curious.
Because I want to say it was like, not mid-2000s, but like mid-late 2000s, so it's got to be at least like 13, 14 years old by now.
Let's see, Portal came out October 10th, 2007.
Yeah, so that puts it 15 years old, if it's not already there.
It was part of the Orange Box, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It was literally just coupled as the Orange Box. Like, I don't think it was ever intended to sort of be its independent thing. It was just there just to sort of sell copies of Half-Life and TF2.
And Portal 2 came out in 2011.
Yeah, 4 years later. So that's still 10 bloody years old. And then they recently had that whole thing with, what was his name? It's not Saxton Hale, that's the guy in TF2. God, who's the guy with the lemons? What was his name?
Cliff Johnson.
Yes! That's the dude. Like, he had the whole thing where he sort of put himself inside a stone head or something like that. He took the Maui statue meme a little too far. Is the story behind that one.
I don't think I've heard about this personally.
Nah, it was a weird one because it just sort of came out of nowhere. It sort of like emulates you being like part of like an Aperture Science office job. So you're just sort of there on a desk. And occasionally he talks to you. And obviously then you find out that he's just like a stone head. And that he's actually been alive for like hundreds of years or whatever.
Interesting.
It's very much on brand for sort of like Portal's just general overall weirdness.
Then who the fuck was in, like, the paintings of one or Caroline?
Could well have been him too.
Huh?
Wouldn't put it past him.
Yes, we definitely needed some more lies, thank you, Rob.
Well, it's just the one. Plus, I'd like to be able to show off the actual special stage remixes as well.
Cave Johnson, sorry, not Cliff.
Cave Johnson, yes.
Oh, it's the Sonic Heroes special stage music.
Yep. And the twist with this one is that you now have platforms that come up in front and behind you, which you can jump up on in order to actually reach the higher areas where one would assume there are more rings. However, I have been caught out once or twice before being tricked into going in the higher path and then all the rings appear in the lower path instead.
I got you, you fool, you fucking stooge.
It's like, you thought that high paths would lead you to rewards? No, you take the low path.
Yes, I believe this is a remix in Generations 3DS. Which is being played tomorrow, you're right.
Hey.
It's a handheld version day tomorrow, so we have All Stars Racing Transform 3DS, Colors DS, and then finishing off we have Generations 3DS.
There's one thing I like about Generations 3DS especially is the Big Arms remix. That thing's so good. You know, it's kind of weird, like, some of these cutscene sequences remind me of sort of like those sort of old sort of Master System kind of games where they sort of have that as sort of like their effects for like pathways and things like that.
This is music from Ristar.
Yep. And he has fashioned his ship to look like a Simpsons character.
Oh no. It's gonna be another one of those, this character was in the background all along, we just couldn't see him scenarios.
Quite possibly. So with this guy, he will drop napalm, and obviously the explosions will travel along the ground and attempt to kill you. But on top of that, there's also cannons on the ship which will also shoot you, and in order to get up to him, you have to ride on the platforms. So you jump on one, not like that obviously. And you ride it all the way up to the top, and then find Eggman. Turn that his ship has a stupid nose, and then he throws you off the ship.
Oh, they're based off Stunt Race FX characters, that's why they have the eyes. Alright, that makes sense.
Oh, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. I hadn't actually considered like what the actual sort of reference behind them. I always just thought you had a phase where you just like started giving his robots goofy looking faces. Or whether that was just like a stylistic choice from Feperd.
You may have noticed me giggling at Sonic's noodle arms in that edited cutscene. I'm sorry, this is probably a reason why I'm not super into the fan games, but I can't, like, stand stuff that sticks out. I need my games to be cohesive.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that they tried with the whole cutscene thing, because obviously it's something like fan games and ROM hacks both haven't really dabbled in before. And, like, it's obviously a good way to tell a story. Some occasional jankiness aside, obviously.
I mean, to be fair, this came out in 2012.
2011, I think, but there was a 2012 version.
So, you know, I'm not going to criticise it too heavily. I mean, granted, I've never made a fan game, so who the fuck am I to criticise?
But no, I mean, if you want to point out the fact that Sonic has weird noodly arms, then point out the fact that Sonic has weird noodly arms. It's all part of the commentary, biz.
Okay, he has weird noodly arms.
And that ship has a big nose, but not nearly as big as the rest of it.
Ah, I see. More Ristar music.
Yes. Meanwhile, in Tails Land... Oh no, Sonic is wanted, but why? And Tails just chilling.
I noticed they cut off before the kicked in.
Yeah. Alright, so the gimmick with this particular zone is that you have to use Tails' flight to create a wind current to open these hatches. Oh yes, I recognize that vocal mix anywhere. Yeah. Whoa! Yeah.
Okay, so Metro Madness Zone. Sunset Star at night has some underwater areas near the bottom in Act 3.
Yep, sounds about right. And also has those mantis fuckers from Metropolis Zone, except they're slightly different because they've acquired powers of PSI, or psychic powers, as it is also known. So they can actually control their mantis blades at will. And if you actually leave them to do their full attack animation, they actually start sweating when the blades actually get close to them. Oh, and I'll see if I can show it this one, actually. Ah, apparently not. I could have swore that's what they did. Maybe it's like something else that causes that to happen. Like maybe if you get too close to them.
You've led me on yet another ruse cruise, Vog.
I'm sorry.
That's alright, it's 24C in the UK, I'm handling all the sweating for us.
It's actually not too bad over where I am at the moment, thankfully.
That's good. I mean, you're the one playing. I can get a drink whenever I want, but you actually have to play the game.
Yes. Whoa! Speed!
Whoa! Whoa!
Just in case you forget what zone we're in.
I appreciate that. You gotta stick with the branding.
Yeah. It's like with the Casino Night Zone. It has all the Sonic stuff in the background just to remind you what game you're playing.
Yeah, the Casino Night Zone actually is in the Sonic movieverse. It's a part of the prequel comic for the second movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Knuckles gets taken there to compete in some kind of like gladiatorial arena thing.
Of course.
Because he was captured by those hunters you see at the start of the second movie. Oh. And if you look carefully, you can see you can see Vector and Espio in the background gambling.
Well, I'll be.
So they exist. Maybe that's what the Knuckles series is going to be about.
Ooh. That would be very nice if true.
Chaotix.
Love it. Love me some Chaotix. Always been a fan of them.
And thankfully, if you have Amazon Prime, I believe they started to bundle Paramount TV with that. So I'll be able to watch the episodes when they come out.
Ooh. Definitely have to give that a watch as well then.
Uh-huh. Jesus.
Was that really necessary? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can just fly the entire way up there, but where's the fun in that?
Indeed.
Gotta at least try the pinball section. It's so inviting after all.
Nothing.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Oh, you rat bastard!
That's what you get for having fun.
It's like, bitch, did I just see you trying to be something?
I need to rewatch that.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. So where's this fog they want us to look at?
Let's look at this fog. You know, for a while I thought, because the first time I obviously heard that bit was during ATS, and the way that it's said makes me think they were going, let's boogie boo.
Oh. What did he mean by this?
I do not know. It was a great mystery until I realized what they were actually saying, and then it all made sense.
We. Not today, Satan.
Nope. There's a weird quirk as well when you're generally dispensing with bandits as well, in that You know how traditionally when you attack a bandit from underneath, you tend to go straight through it and obviously come out the other side?
Ah.
With this one, or with these fangames in particular, if you attack an enemy underneath, you actually just bounce straight back down. And if you're too used to how like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 work, it does catch you out more times than I would care to admit personally on my part. And down we go. Impale our ass on the signpost, but doesn't matter, we're okay.
Indeed.
I just noticed thing in the chat saying you could say they're psycho mantises, and it makes too much sense, but I still hate it.
Indeed. Apparently, Jun Senoi is a big fan of the Before the Sequel soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I believe I have heard something as well whilst I was sort of listening to the soundtrack again casually very recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure like what the exact interaction was, but I do seem to recall something along the fact that I think Jun was just asked about it like a convention or something, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've heard that. They're really good." And he's right, you know. And who are you? And are you going to be the person that says that Jun Senoi is wrong when it comes to something musically inclined?
Well, I mean, you know, the stuff in Sonic Origins.
Well, I mean, yeah, to be honest, but I think that's more just to do with like the mixing. Like, there's nothing wrong with like the songs they chose. It's more just like the way that they're mixing makes them not really look like they're part of the game that they're meant to be associated with.
Well, sound like, but yeah, I get it.
I think I said it before on Twitter back when we first heard them, and I still pretty much agree with that sentiment where it's like, it's missing approximately 1 or 2 extra instruments from actually being good, because it just kind of feels like muffled, if that makes sense. But no such danger of that sort of thing here. It's just bangers all around. And very nice variety.
Bangers and a bit of mash, if you will.
Oh yes, plenty of mash. You get the full English breakfast when it comes to the soundtracks of these particular games. Now, I'm not sure why, but the soundtrack for this particular act makes me feel like it's meant to be like a spooky stage when it really isn't meant to be. It's just a night city. But I keep thinking there's going to be a ghost any minute now that's just going to jump at me and just rob me of all my rings. Thank you, Collision Detection, for giving me a free dubski on that one. Just kidding.
How could you scare me like that?
Yes. I'm a big fan of the strategically placed currency to point you in the right direction.
I love how you leave your shield behind.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just like a weird bug oddity with the actual engine itself. Like, it's one of those things where you know that it's there, but it's like so much of a minor thing you don't really look too much into it. And we were talking Ristar music before. You might recognize this one.
I'm listening. Oh yeah, it's a slightly remix. I didn't get it at first.
Yeah, and obviously it's not the complete version of the song. It's just the ambient part as you go in between getting all the rest of the song. Absolutely love that Ristar level. Just the idea behind it. Just having music and then going to gradually add more bits to it, and then you complete the entire song, and then you do the boss.
Having music in it, or video games these days, having music in them.
I know, right? The audacity.
Oh, I've pinpointed it now. It's Planet Sonata.
Yes. Definitely one of my favorite stages in Ristar.
It's pretty cool. Ristar!
We're getting into the Hydrocity Hydro City with Rystar, aren't we?
No, the Japanese dev said Ristar. This isn't one of those.
Alright, I'll take your word for it.
Fine.
Rystar is just Rystar, but he's just a loaf of bread.
1, 2, or 3.
You have to press him in sequence, and then you blast him with the cannon that's strategically placed down over here.
What a fuck ass.
So usually what you wind up doing is you press the button for 1, and then you press the button for 2. And then you hang around button number 3, and wait for him to come at just the right point of his cycle, and you nobble him.
Nice. Gotcha, dumbass.
You think after like the 3rd or 4th time you get the idea and just like, maybe I shouldn't hover directly above the cannon.
Maybe this time. Ah, Jesus.
Maybe if I sneak up on him and... Oh! Foiled again! The nice thing is you can't press him out of sequence either, so you don't have to worry about accidentally pressing him out of order and then just completely foobarring your cannon play. Yes, I would very much like to get to the button, please. Thank you. Oh, free projectiles. Oh, he means business. Don't know how we're gonna... Oh, never mind. I love this. He's like, did I get him? Yay! And then does his pose. And we get treated to the Rystar victory theme as well.
I was gonna say, you can pitch it all you want, you will never escape me.
So, where's the part where we just launch Tails into space to the next level?
Oh.
If I remember this cutscene correctly, this is fucking cute. Hi!
Why does Sonic run? Because Tails chases. I'm your best friend now.
Hey, what's that over there?
But wait, Sonic, you can't swim. That's fine. Tails, look up!
It got spoiled again! So, we now have the dreaded underwater level. I know, we had to do it eventually. However, the cutscene clues you in on something very, very important.
Ah.
The bubble shield does not break when you take damage. So the idea behind the water level in BTS is that you do have the bubble shield, and you have the underwater physics, but you don't have to worry one lick about drowning or anything like that. And I assume that this is because this is like the first time you get like the underwater stuff sort of thrown at you in this game. Because I know in the next level with Tails, you do actually get underwater levels without the aid of a bubble shield. So I'm guessing this is sort of just a clever way of being able to do an underwater level sort of disguised as sort of your introduction to it so that you're prepared for when it comes up in the next zone.
Kind of reminds me of this one early strip in Fleetway Sonic the Comic, the UK one, where Robotnik tricks Sonic into like falling into the water, and he grabs a bubble, but it kind of becomes like a permanent bubble shield, but the more he breathes, the smaller it gets. So he has to like trick Badniks into firing like a flamethrower at him to burn the plastic away.
I think I remember that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have that comic somewhere, but it's currently inside a trunk that I have no way of getting into because it's metal, rusted to fuck, and the hinges have literally almost been welded to the damn thing. So I'm gonna have to come in with like a angle grinder or something and just cut my way inside and unearth the Sonic comics from ages past.
Ah, there it is. Yes, hidden treasure.
I'm pretty sure all my Transformers comics are still in there as well. Gonna be a great hit of nostalgia when I get that thing finally open.
I don't know what Sonic Adventure was showing in that cutscene flashback in Tails' story, but it wasn't their first meeting. Alright, some nice guitar work here.
I can appreciate it. I'm not sure if it quite beats the crunchy bass from Zone 3, but you know, I'm getting into it.
There's some elements here that seem to have cropped up again in Hydro City and Mania.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, there's actually a difference with the bubble shield here and the bubble shield that you're probably used to in the main Sonic games, in that it actually has a double jump as opposed to the, you know, the whole thing where you sort of bounce down super hard and then bounce up again. And they would actually give us a version of that same bubble shield later on, but it won't be until ATS where you actually see it.
It's okay, Vol, you can move on, they're just rings.
But I want them.
I know, but we can't always get what we want.
This is indeed true. I actually remember when I was playing this for the first time, I got hopelessly lost in one of the acts just because I was just like, what the hell do I do? Like, what is it asking me to achieve here?
Rings plus. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. And I believe the goal is nearby. Yep, there we go.
So this is like Hydro City meets Launch Base, essentially.
Yeah. As to why it's all underwater, I'm not quite sure. It's like high-tech Atlantis. So we have two path options. We can either go up or we can go down. Of course, we're going to opt for up. And we get introduced to this thing, which basically cuts your area of maneuverability in half. So, got to be careful about that one. Try and stick with the upper path as much as we can this time. Whoa. Oh, he thought. He thought he had me.
He wasn't ready for Volk's tenacity.
Yes, the 4 entire seconds I had to avoid it. It was just far too much.
Oh, don't worry, Silver Dude. There'll always be other charity marathons and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, it won't be long until we start playing the next one, eh?
Indeedy so, Vol.
It feels like it's been legitimately like 1.5 entire zones since we last saw a checkpoint.
Really?
I don't think it actually is the case, but like I said before, they feel like so few and far between. Like, you feel like you go entire zones without seeing one.
A little bit crazy, yeah. It's little elements like that that kind of, like, distinguish Fangame's unofficial products in my mind.
Yeah, like, there's obviously, like, when you're looking at them, like, overall, like, BTS and ATS are regarded as, like, very, very solid Sonic games, even just compared to, like, the official stuff. But
yeah,
they always have, like, those minor things that sort of set it apart from, like, the real product, so to speak. Just, like, those little attention that they're able to give to minor things and being able to correct those. Like, it feels like a more, I would have to say, complete experience, but you end up going through something and you never really get that impression of, oh, I bumped into something here that wasn't quite right.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any red flags so far.
Nah. And if they are, they're like very minor, like the shields appearing still when you go into a special stage ring.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey. Nice and smooth.
What I was talking about in regards to Hydro City and Mania is when you're free-falling, I guess, through those tunnels and you go up and down to dodge the spikes. That seems to have been brought into the Hydro City Act 2 boss in Mania.
Oh yeah. It's actually one of my favourite bosses from Mania, to be honest.
It's pretty fun. Alright, what Brum nightmare are we going to be privy to this time?
The part of Dr. Robotnik will be played by Bob the Builder.
Yeah. Instead of Orbot and Cubot, it's Rosie and Jim.
But who's steering the boat?
Oh, Jesus.
Just imagine Robotnik just did come along one day in just a tugboat. That'd be amazing.
Oh, bless him. I actually forgot there was a third act here. That's why I was asking about Robotnik.
Ah. Yeah, you always forget because early on they sort of distinguished that sort of 2 acts as about the perfect length. Whereas with ATS, they go with the 3 acts, but they at least try to spice things up a little bit by sort of either playing on or enhancing gimmicks from the previous acts. So it never really feels like a zone overstays its welcome, but I mean, some people will definitely have a lower tolerance in that regard to that. Some people just want to see the next zone, which is entirely understandable, I get it. So this was the section I was talking about earlier where I got hopelessly lost in, and that's only because I got caught on the wrong end of the black pipes, which you can't actually go through. Like, they're the solid parts of the platforming section, so I had to go all the way back down to the beginning of that section and then find the actual correct side I was meant to be on. Oh, you bastard!
Well, we found one of the star posts.
Yep. Now, those of you who aren't so aware of what After the Sequel consists of, keep this zone in mind, because you'll start to see some of it again in ATS.
Okay.
Alright, so you sit on the switch for an extended period of time, and then it'll let you in. Nice and simple. Although that one doesn't usually require a description, one thing that Before the Sequel does a pretty decent job of is whenever you're introducing like a gimmick for the first time, if it's not that obvious what you're supposed to be doing, it will usually have something signposted to say, okay, this is sort of like a rough idea of what you're meant to be doing, and then you just sort of go, oh, okay, so I guess I'm supposed to spin dash to activate the thing, right, and then you spin dash and activate the thing. Which is weird, because I don't notice it as much in ATS, but I think with ATS they make it like straightforward enough that they don't really need to, or in some cases they usually wind up in a situation where they just give you like a playground almost to sort of play around with it in. Alright, I think the signpost is coming up any second now, and I don't want to miss the ring this time. Hey!
It's okay, we will have all the lives you desire.
I just want to give you more Ristar remixes. Ristar remixes. There you go, I've
Appreciate
appealed to both audiences.
That's what's known as gaming the system.
Indeed.
Okay, this is the original Heroes mix, I believe.
I have to admit, my experience with Heroes is very limited, so I imagine this is the, I guess, the more authentic version of the Heroes one, rather than like a remix from a different game.
Definitely remember using Team Rose, that exploit, to get all the emeralds easily.
Was Team Rose meant to be one of the easier ones, or was that Team Chaotix that's supposed to be sort of like baby's first Sonic game, easy mode?
Rose is easy mode, Dark is hard mode, Chaotix is mission mode, and Team Sonic is just balance.
Ah, I see, I see. Oh, I don't actually remember this special stage. Ah, very neat.
So how are the special stages in After the Sequel? Because obviously I'm not going to be on for that one.
Oh, for After the Sequel, it's essentially you race the Emerald. And there's springboards and, like, slime patches, which attempt to slow you down and speed you up respectively. And the whole idea is that you're supposed to try and get enough speed to catch the emerald before the special stage actually ends, which is usually about a minute or so.
Okay, so heroes then.
Yeah.
Guess the music is very apt.
Hey, not bad. Got 2 lives out of that one.
Huzzah.
Hey. Why?
Right.
And then Sonic died. The end.
Some say he's still exiting our atmosphere.
I just cleaned that. Alright, so for this one, you can't actually hurt the boss directly. So what you gotta do is, there are bombs that you have to deflect back into him. And thankfully, you don't have to wait for him to be like a certain distance or anything like that, you just literally launch them into him. But of course, if you let them explode on the ground, then you lose rings. And you can't deflect the pointy ones at him. The pointy ones are a little too much to handle for poor Sonic's head.
This is one of the first bosses in Studiopolis, though.
Oh yeah, because you gotta like deflect the missiles and such.
Yeah, and the pointy ones can't be deflected.
And this predates Mania.
Oh, by a fair bit, mate, yeah.
Ooh. I wonder if this is where it got inspiration from that.
Maybe so.
I mean, there's every chance it's just a simple enough sort of concept that they just came up with it on their own, but...
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, there is a resemblance that can't be ignored. I need a ring, I need a ring. Oi! Damn it, rings please!
Oh, he's being real stingy.
Maybe I have to hit him first. Then maybe it might see fit to reward me for my efforts. Just being very careful not to get caught on the wrong end of those explosions.
That's alright, man.
Bastarding things keep going with the pointy ones. There we go. Hey! Have some of that.
Jesus, seizure warning.
I like how even the ships look shocked when they die as well. Just like, oh no!
Have a nice trip, you stupid bitch.
Meanwhile, having a stupid trip.
How'd I get here?
Good question. Perilous Paradise.
Nice. Hey, Crazy Harlequin, welcome to the stream. We're about 2/3 of the way through before the sequel, and the other game we're playing today is after the sequel. Bit of a schedule change.
Yes, unfortunately, the weatherman has said no to Tanner's streaming plans.
Damn that weatherman, always controlling our lives.
It's like the song goes, don't blame it on yourself, just blame it on the weatherman.
I guess. What's he talking about, chat?
I don't even know who sings that song either myself, I just know the lyrics.
Fair enough.
Oh, this is probably one of my favourite songs from BTS as well. It's definitely in my top 3.
I have no frame of reference, I'll take your word for it. I love those sound effects.
Just punching the, I guess they're braces for the pipes?
Oh. Like, bitch! A lot of Mario stuff using this as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, I think ATS uses a fair amount of stuff from Nintendo IPs as well, to be fair. I mean, you got the Yoshi's Island thing in this one as well, of course. But, ATS actually uses some stuff from Kirby as well.
Hey.
Oh, give it some oomph to get past those water cannons. Actually, one of my favorite designed things, just because they behave differently depending on whether they're above water or underwater.
Okay.
So they either push you back, or they'll, oh god, no! I wanted the thing! But no, they'll either push you back, or they just fire the, suppository from Futurama at you.
Jesus.
I mean, it's big enough to be it.
Kind of remind me of the, roosters from, Mushroom Hill.
Yeah, a little bit. Ooh, that's exactly enough for an extra doodad.
Imagine if they call them extra doodads from now on.
I'm gonna have to start collecting royalties if they do.
Instead of quotation mark tails, close quotation mark, it was quotation mark doodad, close quotation mark.
No, I remember, oh, what was it? Oh, yeah, it was the, X Factor, Sonya and Silver ROM hack. And when you go to get the 4th Chaos Emerald, they literally call it Find the 4th MacGuffin. But every other time it's Emerald, but in that one's case it's literally just MacGuffin, because why the hell not?
McMuffin. No, MacGuffin.
Find the Egg McMuffin.
They're both precious, one more important than the other.
Okay, so I'm clearly not meant to be going in that direction. Where the hell am I meant to be going?
When in doubt, go to the right.
Alright, let's try this again.
Okay.
Yeah, some of these levels start to get a little bit more involved, so figuring out where to go spatially is trickier.
Well, you've been that way, so go right now.
Yes. Ah, there's another one over here. There we go, this is looking a bit more promising.
Progress E.
Well, it gives me more time to listen to the awesome music.
Indeed. And more time for Flame to eat his microwave burger.
And if you sponsor the stream right now, we will say the name of said brand on stream.
No, I won't.
Jokes, of course. We're not selling out to Brand X just yet. Now, just to warn you now, there will be a sudden screen color change in this zone, so brace your eyes accordingly. Hey, there we go. And now everything's on fire. You can kind of see it in the background. There is a lot of foreground stuff going on, but you can probably see the flames licking in the background. And no, flame isn't licking in the background before you say anything.
Afraid lie zoned out because I don't want to hear the phrase flame licking ever again. God almighty, that fucking TikTok sound effect.
Yeah, I'm not sure like what the idea behind that is actually meant to be. Like, I'm assuming like the whole place is coming apart at the seams, and like when you leave the zone, like the whole thing just explodes.
Like, don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut.
There are people out there that still can't believe that was the official version of the dialogue and not the abridged version.
Don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut. Goku dies. Amazing.
It is so good. I could do us some air. Give. Thank you.
Reasonable request, honestly.
I mean, I like not dying, what can I say?
Okay, so after this we have 1, 2, 3 more, and then the final one is a boss, I believe.
Yes, that's right. I believe the second to last zone has 2 acts, and then the last zone has a singular act.
Okay.
I believe is usually how it goes.
That's code for start setting up Flame.
Well, I'd say he's probably still got like a good 20, 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
Oh god! Good news! This is a suppository!
Why'd you give him a German accent?
Because I'm not good at doing a Farnsworth impression on the spot, alright?
Good news, everybody. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be accurate.
You know me, I don't like doing things by halves.
Fair enough, though. Oh, I see a pop-up for CC Cleaner.
Oh, bloody hell, CC Cleaner, leave me alone. Alright, so we need to avoid those spling-a-majigs up there. And I'm assuming we need to take the high path. There we go. Do, 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 do. Oh, they actually hurt you. I did not know that. Like, in all the time I've spent practicing this game, I had no idea that those little posts coming off hurt you.
Going up.
Spoing.
Cheeky bastard, I saw you that time.
Ah, yes. Can't wait for the boss theme on this one. It is, it's pretty fucking amazing.
I think you missed a star post back there.
I did?
Yeah, go back a little bit.
Alrighty.
Keep going. Up and to the left.
Up and to the left, okay. Need to swim out first. Ah, you are indeed correct.
Oh, thank God. I was going insane.
No, you are as sane as you were previously.
That's not saying a lot, but anyway.
Well, I didn't want to assume that you were fully sane either, so, you know, I try to play both territories. Precious air. Oi! Give.
Plus.
Give. No! Why did it not? Oh my god, I'm getting trolled.
The gods of Olympus have abandoned me!
There was no collision detection. There was a bubble, but it did not believe that I was sucking in the air.
Wow, good job I told you to go back for that post.
Yeah, no kidding. I'd have to done that whole level again. Alright, so I'm going to assume that there might be something wrong with that particular patch of air bubbles.
Maybe so.
So I'm going to go off the premise of it's not working, therefore I shall ignore it and just go to the next set instead. Take the Springus.
The Spingly Bingus.
You must sprunkly to win.
There you go.
Ah, alas, it is an end dead.
Why would you do this, game designers? What were they thinking?
Hey, there we go. We are safe. We are safe from fake air bubbles. Yes, they did in fact give Tails this mini legs.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
This is the combi catcher from Chaotix, I think. No?
No, it's Rystar again.
Yes, it is. This is the bonus round theme, I think.
Yep, that is correct.
I've stopped doing Hurdle recently, mostly because I just got a bit bored of it.
It always seemed like one of those things that would only last for so long until people just get tired of it naturally. Especially when they started attaching it to basically everything known to man.
Yeah, I should like trim down some of them, like the ones I have the most trouble with, I'll just get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's meant to be a bit of fun. If you're frustrating yourself over it, then bin it.
Like Pokemon is one that trips me up a lot, weirdly.
I know a friend of mine does the Xenoblade Chronicles OST one quite often.
God forbid you get one from Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh god.
Like the tiles in there are just like a cat stepped on a keyboard.
The rivalry continues.
Who are you? Alright, Tom, riddle me this. Do you associate this theme with the Alton Towers adverts that used to be on the telly? I'm trying to think of whether it was in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, because that's what came to mind first.
Ah, okay.
But I think it's actually from the Alton Towers ads, yeah.
So the tricky thing with this one, he doesn't give you very many opportunities to actually attack him.
Mm-hmm.
And the lasers are deceptively wide-reaching, so usually my strategy, at the very least, is that I try to fly over him. Just save some of the guesswork that way.
Okay, so it was the Adventures theme. I wasn't going crazy.
Huh. Please tell me you heard that! Please tell me you heard that! Just a whispering of Pingus in there! I'm gonna have to watch the footage back because I'm not gonna believe it was anything other than a fever-induced delusion otherwise.
Fingers.
Oh my god, if that is a reference to the many faces of Dr. Robotnik's video on YouTube, I might actually die. By how awesome that would actually be.
Alright, next up, Titanic Tower.
Oh yes. Definitely one of the more trickier levels in the game.
It's described as, ignoring the penis music here, a version of Terminal Velocity where you go up instead of down.
Yes, very vertically inclined, this one. So I was just thinking, damn, I just can't shake him off. Oh god, it just got pointed out that the boss theme might well just literally be the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog theme, and yeah, it suddenly makes a lot more sense. Oh yes, some comfy, not quite lo-fi beats.
Or it's gonna like transition into the Burning Rangers theme for a second then.
Burning Rangers!
Yeah.
Alright, I hate these platforms, but I will attempt to not make a complete hash of it. And take my time.
At least you can see when they're gonna light up.
Yeah, the trouble is, they light up a bit too quickly for how long they seem to last. At least in my opinion. There might be some who disagree with such a sentiment.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of flying battery here.
There is a Fair amount of flying battery in here. I would hesitate to say Death Egg, because obviously that's where we're going up toward.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've opened up a new path down here. Doing. And you can see the egg cargo as well being transported.
Very chill vibe for such a late level.
Yeah, it really doesn't... Well, I suppose it's not really the penultimate level, but... You know, when you're thinking of stuff like your Metropolis zones and your Sky Sanctuaries and things like that, they usually are a lot more sort of bombastic with the sound on those ones, whereas this one, it's very much subdued and sort of relaxed.
Oh, correct, but I said late level, not penultimate.
No, that's what I meant as well, because obviously Metropolis isn't penultimate either, that would be Sky Chase. That's just me getting my own terminology mixed up there.
Technically, if you want to be pedantic, it's Wing Fortress.
Oh yeah, the bit after Sky Chase, yeah. But depending on how technical you want to get, technically Death Egg isn't even a level, it's just a boss area.
Okay, well, in that case, Sky Chase would be the penultimate one then.
Yeah, it's mostly a matter of perspective.
It is. From my point of view, the Jedi are wrong.
Then you are lost! From my point of view, it is Hydro City!
Oh, that's very fun.
Yeah, the wall boosters are very satisfying. Ba-doing! And there's Tails waiting patiently for you.
What fucking took you so long? I can't fly, Tails.
Some of us are vertically challenged, I'll have you know.
Really? What an asshole.
This soundtrack just reminds me of like almost every anime opening from like the 1980s. And you get to turn the lights off. I'm not sure what the gimmick there is exactly. I think it's more just playing into you sneaking into the enemy base, but you're dummy thick, and the clap of your ass is alerting the guards.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I keep forgetting that even though Tails is there, I'm not actually playing as him at the moment. Alright, you rat bastard. Just take you out of the equation. Don't quite have enough of to get up there via my own momentum.
Yeah, the first time in the game that Sonic and Tails have been together.
Yep. They've been travelling perpendicular up until this point, but now they face the threat together.
Indeedy so.
You know, until Tails gets abducted again by some random MacGuffin.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, Tails. I'm telling you, don't get abducted.
Don't you eat this pie!
Oh, that's a Tonberry cloud. It's gonna bring up all the ancient references.
You're a special someone if you around at the time when Legendary Frog was a thing. It just has to be said.
Indeedy so.
And I completely fucked that jump. So we have to take the route of shame, as I like to call it.
More like the path of cool. Yeah, that's right, we got Neon.
Oh yes. And you got the freezy things from Ice Cap as well, just in case you were missing those at any point. The correct answer is you never should. But, you know, they're here anyway. I suppose it plays into the theme. Maybe they're part of the cooling system.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, this is why he uses robots, because otherwise OSHA would have a fucking field, though.
Yes. And we should thank our lucky stars that Eggman hasn't decided to use cordium as a source of power either.
Jesus.
Otherwise, we'll be contending with Crimson 1 as well.
God, I love the name of the next zone. I'm not going to spoil it before it appears on screen.
That actually has one of my favourite soundtracks in the game, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
I guess we'll see.
No, you're not stealing me rings. No, damn it, it's stolen my rings. Who could have predicted this?
Welcome to Act 3.
Music gives me Jamiroquai vibes. Yeah, kind of. I can see it.
I can't understand it, but you do you.
I suppose you just have to picture the guy dancing around in a hat on like the walls and the ceilings and shit to really get the full appreciation for that.
I don't know what Jamiroquai looks like.
To be fair, neither do I. Even though I've seen the music videos and shit. I have to be careful here because I'm fairly certain I died trying to clear both of those at the same time without realizing there was another one waiting for me.
What a bizarre bandit.
Yeah, he's just a bouncy fella.
Flame is asking me to watch the Virtual Insanity music video after this.
Oh god. Yes, I vaguely remember that song. It is very trippy. Well, it was trippy for its time, I would say. There's probably like way trippier videos. If you want like a really, really trippy music video, you should watch one of the videos for one of Malice Miser's songs.
It's just words in my ear at this point. I'm so old.
Well, Malice Miser was, in fact, the band that Gact was in before he took off solo.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, if you want an early appreciation for, like, Gact, then definitely recommend getting some Malice Miser in you. Oh god. I just had, like, no control over myself for a split second there. Are we high enough up yet? Apparently not.
I mean, we're literally right next to the death egg, so...
Oh yes, more lo-fi beats.
To platform in the dark, too.
That should be an actual thing. Just have like lo-fi remixes of like various platforming icons.
Like Mario. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, you bastard. That was hidden in the foreground, that's not fair. In the ring we go.
Sorry, Tails. This is a Sonic-only zone. Tails?
We broke reality!
What JoJo opening bullshit is this?
Oh no, this is the stand walking in the air.
Yeah.
We're floating in the moonlit skies.
Sonic Rush!
Yep. Not even a remix, just straight up the Sonic Rush one. What do you think of Rush's soundtrack overall? Because it gave me an appreciation for like songs that make clever use of various sound bites and well-known samples.
I think it's pretty good. It's not one of my favorites, but it's pretty good.
No, I mean it's not I don't think it's one of those ones that's going to come up in a lot of people's like top 3 or maybe even top 5. But you know, I had an appreciation for it. With the exception of, I think it was like the second to last zone? I can't remember. It's the one that goes, and this is what you need. I quite like the soundtrack for that one.
This is what you need, what you need.
Yes. And Wrapped in Black as well, of course. I think Wrapped in Black is probably the reason I can unironically enjoy Black Tar.
It's a great song.
It is. I think more people need to appreciate what Black Tar brings to the table, personally.
Right, let's see what Brum engine he's using this time. Tails, no!
By God! It's The Rock! With a cannon straight out of Mario 3.
Really? I'm really glad you put scaffolding on this thing.
Would have made this very difficult otherwise. You can actually hit him, but you have to hit him in just the right spot. But it is actually possible before waiting for his arm to come down.
Okay.
Of course, you've also got to contend with the Mario 3 cannon constantly trying to fuck you over.
Jesus. It's actually kind of cool looking. Wob wob wob.
Wob 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 wob. Oh yes, this would have been also around the time that dubstep was a fairly popular thing among the masses. So you gotta get a bit of the dubskis in there. I thought I missed a ring then. I was about to be severely disappointed in myself.
Really? And the fact you can actually jump on the projectiles is pretty cool.
Well, at least the little cannonballs. I wouldn't want to try the massive energy water.
Yeah, you look so sad. That cost me all my money, Sonic.
Alright. Tails time again, and yes, my favourite soundtrack in the game is coming up. But wait. Idea. Hey!
There you go.
And there you go. He now does the spinny run. With his tails instead of his feet.
Oh.
I know, right? It is so good. I kinda just want to stand still for a minute and just fully appreciate this. But at the same time, I also kind of need to make sure I progress in some kind of meaningful fashion.
I don't know if this exact mix was in the symphony, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, whoever composed it helped with it.
But it's so freaking good. I had no idea I needed like a full orchestral version of Believe in Myself, but I now know that I need it. It is just frankly stunning.
Okay, this is the same orchestra remix of Believe in Myself. Alright.
Oh, really?
Although I guess it was performed with an actual orchestra in the symphony.
Yes.
These sound like samples. Yeah, this is what happens to Tails if you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2 Master System.
This is him on his stairway to heaven. good. I love it so much.
Oh yeah, that build-up is absolutely from the Symphony. I can hear it now.
I still remember my first time actually hearing, like, the proper version of this song was actually whilst I was playing Phantasy Star Online, of all things.
Wow.
Because I never actually picked up Sonic Adventure 1 at any point when I had the, because I never had a Dreamcast at the time, I only had the GameCube. And I had PSO Episode 1 and 2 before I had, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. So my first exposure to the Sonic Adventure 1 version of Believe in Myself was actually from one of the random CD drops in Phantasy Star Online. And you can literally play it at any point whilst you're like spelunking a dungeon or whatever, and it will literally replace the background music with whatever's on the CD.
Cool.
Yeah, they had like loads of different things. They had Live and Learn, they had It Doesn't Matter, the Sonic Adventure 1 version of that one again. They also had the Burning Rangers theme as a CD as well, which I abused the fuck out of.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if they brought in Falk to do some official composing.
Definitely. I mean, as much as I feel like T-Lopes has become an institution as far as like sort of retro Sonic style game soundtracks go, I really do think Falk should be given a fair shot at something in an official capacity.
Well, you know, it said Frontiers is going to have like a wide mix of stuff with apparently some like new composers, so I guess we'll see.
Ooh, what a tease. Right, unfortunately we must leave the orchestra remix.
Oh.
It was fun while it lasted. My god, it's, it's so good.
Tails has passed on.
Now something a little bit more epic.
British Heaven.
British Heaven.
Ironically, it's very sunny today.
Yes, for once. Summer is actually summer, as everybody else seems to know it. Whoop. Of course, you get the bouncy clouds from Sky Sanctuary, although they don't seem to be nearly as good as the ones in Sky Sanctuary. Like, the bounce potentially you get off those is fairly minimal.
You can fly, so I guess they need to mitigate it.
Yeah.
Or downplay it a little.
Or just the fact that, okay, it doesn't necessarily need to be, like, particularly strong, but, you know, we'll give the options to do so, just because it makes some platforming sections a little bit quicker if you're able to get through them using the clouds. Because I think if you had to fly up there, it does take a little bit longer. Not too much longer, but, you know. When you're trying to go fast, every second matters.
Indeedy so wrong.
Oh god. I am bereft of... Oh, never mind. I was going to say I was bereft of rings, and then happenstance saw me through.
Oh, God bless. Probably literally.
Yep, considering.
He might actually be the boss of this level, who knows?
It's just, it's alright, bro. I got you.
Now, I think the name of the level is Cloudy Crowd Zone, is that right?
It's cloudy something.
Good.
Cloudy something zone. Usually the naming conventions for the zone in both BTS and ATS is that they are, like, the same letter alphabetically.
Yeah, Cloudy Crowd. But for some reason, this made me laugh. On Sonic Retro, it's called Cloudy Cloud Zone. That's
right. There's a level in ATS that I legitimately, jokingly call Cocaine Coast Zone. But it's actually Sugar something or other. I can't remember exactly what the name of that one is.
Sugar something or other zone.
Well, I mean, it follows the same alphabet trope.
I guess it does.
And some more Rystar music for this one. Oh god. There's too many clouds, Tom. I can't control it.
You simply must control your lust for rings, Volk. It will destroy us all.
Destroy us all! Destroy us all!
Ultimate power. Maybe I can bribe God with enough rings. For some reason he can't get rings himself. Foxes have to give him rings.
Oh, it is ascending ever higher.
Why is the scaffolding going with him?
Well, it's like, you know, when you have the space launches, you have that massive brown thing that's literally just the fuel tank.
Right.
It's probably a bit like that.
And this is what you meant by seeing it in the background.
Yep. You can very much see it in the background this time. It might as well be in the foreground with how big it is.
Yeah.
Alas, I flew too close to the sun.
Indeed.
There's no avoiding that one, really. Oh, I wish to spring. Thank you. No! I have been forsaken.
It's okay, you can do it.
Just believe in thyself. Just trying to make sure I'm not about to get slapped by a bad thing off screen.
Bitch!
Come on. Give me a ring. Hey! Thank you. We can now thrust forward with reckless abandon.
Ah, good, yes. How'd you like that, God? Not a fun. I've heard this mix before.
Yeah, I think I have too. I just don't know where from exactly.
Are those fucking Audacity waveforms in the clouds?
Are they?
They look like them.
Could well be. But I think it's mostly just coincidental. It's just a shading thing.
Oh, Project Chaos, that's where I've heard it from. That's where Malicious Fingers comes from.
Oh. Not this time, Nessie.
Why are you in heaven anyway?
You know, I'm amazed that Godzilla never fought the Loch Ness Monster.
Really?
I feel like that's a thing that should happen. Just Godzilla versus Nessie.
You heard it, Toho. Get on it.
Anything up here? Come on. It's leading to something. Surely there must be something. Ah. Apparently there is, but it's being guarded by stuff. And I'm now in the clouds. And once again, dancing on the precipice betwixt life and death.
Mm-hmm. Careful now. There we go.
Hey! Rather than coming through with rings, just like, look, here's a signpost, just go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, oddly enough, this is one of the easier bosses in the game that I've experienced personally. Obviously, without rings, it's a little bit more precarious, but we'll figure it out.
I know this piece of music as well.
I don't, but it sounds familiar.
Help me out, chat. I need to place a name to this face.
Okay, that was a bit weird. Oh god. No!
That was your hubris, Volk.
It was, but it was also just amazement as to what just happened earlier. Oh. Yep.
Something a bit sus about machines using machines.
Well, if it worked for Robo-Robotnik, it'll work for whatever that guy's called again.
Alright, I guess that brings us to the penultimate level.
Yep.
I will let Flame know.
Rightio.
Are you gonna take a 5-minute break after this?
Yeah, I'll probably, like, grab a proper swig of a drink and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
No, Tails, you can do it!
I believe in you! See, I told you it's God.
God was Sonic this whole time. Yum. Into the egg they go.
Flame says he's basically ready whenever.
Alright, cool. And then just Sonic Adventure 2 music for some reason.
Really? Let's get to work! The death egg. Oh, thank God.
Thank God it's signposted. Giving us a sneak preview of what's to come. Tails, can you read this?
The Diath egg. What the hell does that mean?
There we go. Arcane altitude zone. Alright, so the gimmick for this particular zone is that you have multiple, I guess, bouncy powers. I'm not sure if they're particularly bouncy or it just messes around with gravity. But the red ones send you down strong and hard and lets you destroy specific flooring. The green one lets you jump a lot higher than you normally would. And then there's a light blue one, which comes up later, which literally flips gravity upside down.
Okay. So the red is kind of like Mighty from Mania.
Yeah. Ah. Yeah, and there's strategically placed turbines as well that aim to just fuck you over.
I mean, they're kind of propelling the spaceship, right?
They are, but did it have to be right there?
Oh, bitch, bitch, bitch.
Alright, so that leads you all the way around. So, there must be something else that we missed. Ah, I think it's just because I didn't come up this strong enough. Hold on. Employ the old spin dash. There we go. I deserve that, but I'll still be mad about it.
Yep, we alternate between acts in this one.
Yep.
It's also, I believe, the only zone in the game that only has 2 acts.
Yes, that is correct. So we do Act 1 as Sonic and Act 2 as Tails, and then Act 3 is the Death Egg Zone, which is just a singular act. And I don't think it's particularly long either.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so with the reverse ones, it's a little bit trickier, because those lightning thingies from the actual Death Egg Zone you might remember from Sonic 3 are threatening to kill you, and you have to sort of use some clever trapeze acting to make your way around that. Now, I don't know why we got stuck in there, but I'm guessing that was a trap room. Ah, we need a green MacGuffin. Yeah, this must be the answer. I've never actually taken the lower path in this level before, so this is all entirely new to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Ah, here we go. This looks promising. Hey. And of course, this one only being 2 acts means that this one tends to be on the on the longer side as far as acts go.
Give me a chance to concentrate it.
Yep. I'll be fine. Oh. Nearly flubbed it. And this time I have rings, so it should be a little bit more successful this time around. That works too, I guess.
Spin.
And we use the wind turbines to ascend to ever higher heights. It's actually quite clever that they actually use the stuff in the background as well to actually help you along even further.
Yeah, that's cool.
Alright. Took that jump a little bit too steep. Thankfully, there is another one over here. So that was very close. I'm pretty sure I was not grabbing onto a damn thing, but I'll take it.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I like how it just literally just gave me a ring.
Little tippy taps.
Well, the tippy taps only go so far, because your momentum depends on... It's either how long you're holding onto the left arrow or right arrow when you're holding onto it, or just how hard you're holding the button. So you can either take little gingerly steps like that, or if you hold it, you can literally make rather bounding leaps like that. Oh yeah, this is a very trippy section. Because you're walking along the walls and the floors, and then you're also using the handlebars as well on top of that.
Hey.
There we go. That's Arcane Altitude Sonic version. Now we get the Tails version. Yeah, the immediate momentum is a little bit on the jankier side, but the concept is a really, really nice idea.
A lot going on immediately here.
Ah yes, and the gravity also affects Tails' flight in this case. So if you've been heavied, or basically if you picked up the red stuff, you basically get no flying ability at all. Whereas if you get the green one, your flying ability is actually a little bit enhanced. You can actually gain altitude a lot quicker than you would be able to normally. I burned my backside.
You tried to be careful, but you were burned. Speaking of being burned, I think I'm burnt out at this point.
It's alright. You've done very well. And I appreciate you being here.
Well, it's been a fun time, mate. Thank you for having me.
I just float casually to my death.
God, why didn't you save me from that one? Well, I'm sorry. I already gave you your life back.
Give me my goddamn ring back. Thank you. Alright, this time not as much caution across there. Still wind up losing a ring anyway, but... oh well. Oh, I wonder if he can't actually hold on to those things then. Alright, maybe I should just fly up there then. Yeah, I don't think he can actually grab those. Oh no, he can. Never mind.
Bizarre.
Whoop. And we are rewarded with rings. Thank God.
Jesus.
We're being pinged and or ponged.
Just a crumb of ring roll. That's all I ask you to keep. There's some rings! There's rings! Down, down, left.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting that sometimes you just go into the background. It doesn't happen very often, which is why it catches you off guard. Just think, oh, this is a dead end, and then it's just, oh.
That's fair. It's just that my poor little...
Your heart can't take it.
Exactly, thank you. Whoa. Right deep in the death egg now.
Yeah, I like how it sort of combines the whole flying battery thing of, like, being outside of a death egg than inside of a death egg. Mm-hmm. That's a very good touch. Is that it? Nope, there is still more level.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, there we go.
Oh!
Yeah, like I said, it gets up. Oh, for God's sake. Fucking fly zappers.
Oh, fox zappers in this case.
It's trying to scab me chips.
Thank you, Hog. Bless up.
Oh.
Ah!
I flied what I shouldn't have done. Give. Thank you. Playing hot potato with this ring. There we go. Hey, there we go.
Yay!
It's a bit dicey there for a moment, but we persevered.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm hearing a Sonic 2 Death Egg remix here. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Okay, that was a very clever ping-pong maneuver. I need more oomph than that. Oh no! Ah, maybe this will get me back up to where I need to go. Ah, not quite.
Haha, you fought.
Alright. Bit more careful this time. Hey, there we go.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit longer than the regular Death Egg in Sonic 2. There is a bit of a level to it, but it's not a long one.
No.
And now we're at the final boss. No! Tails again! This time there is dialogue.
Holy fuck, Sonic!
Why does this keep happening to me?
Hello.
This is my mini Death Egg robot. So he cycles through 3 attacks typically. He's got a diagonal laser beam, he's got the spikes which he shoots at you, and then he's got the horizontal laser beam which you have to time your jump to in order to actually not get hurt. He'll also, I say random intervals, I'm pretty sure it's a timed interval. He will electrify his armor, so you can't actually hit him sometimes during particular transitions. So even though the pattern is fairly obvious, you still got to sort of wait out your opportunities. But thankfully there is also a grace period, so you don't end up in the position where you're just jumping and then he activates the shield at just the wrong time. Which is nice.
A pretty cool final boss.
Music's good too.
And that background.
Seeing the Death Egg slowly ascend further into space.
See, I was thinking it was falling for a second there.
Well, you would, but thankfully the thruster says otherwise. It might be off course, potentially. It's like hurtling itself into the moon. For whatever reason, the boss track for this is reminding me slightly of sort of Final Fantasy XII for some reason.
I can hear it.
But there's like something else to it that I can't quite put my finger on. It's like when that piano sequence happens.
Damn, he's a beefy one.
He is. I think he takes like 16 hits.
Good lord.
Oh no, he's electrified. I don't think we're going to be able to get another hit on him. If we were able to time it perfectly, we might have been able to get away with it. I am not that good. Better get back over to this side. Hey, there we go.
Nicely done, mate.
Marvelous. But, wait, there is more. Let the cutscene play the next bit out.
I guess that makes sense, because the Death Egg was already up there in Sonic 2.
Yeah. But alas, the 7th MacGuffin. And here we go. Super Sonic for the first time!
Yo, nice remix. Yo!
Oh yeah, also have to say, Super Sonic sprite in this game, amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, just the rippling on his spines and whatnot.
And just like that sort of almost casual floating.
Okay, yeah, this guy's pretty good.
Thankfully, this is more just like a sort of final furlong sort of thing. Like, it's not meant to be like overly challenging or taxing or anything like that, but it's more just, hey, you're Super Sonic, and Robotnik literally can't do shit to you. We'll brute force it. Oh yeah, and for spoilers, the ATS one is just as awesome, if not better.
Very cool.
There we go. He is now dead for realsies.
For realsies. Only when it is for realsies is he defeated.
Yes. And then the emeralds disperse, keeping within continuity of Sonic 2, of course, because he doesn't have the emeralds from there.
This is what people assume is going to happen in Frontiers, where you collect the emeralds on one island, defeat the Titan boss, and then they scatter.
And whilst Tails was blasted away earlier, he nicked his plane. Low fuel, he says. Oh, gotta make an emergency landing. Do you recognize the background? And there we go.
Yeah.
Launched right at the beginning of Sonic 2. Does beating this boss let you do the other levels as Super Sonic? I haven't actually tried it. From after the sequel, at the very least, the level select lets you enable Super Sonic or disable him, so I imagine might be a similar deal here.
Cool.
This is giving me some Castle of Cagliostro vibes.
So yeah, we're not entirely done today, folks. My shift is, but coming up after a little break, 5, maybe 10 minutes, is Sonic after the sequel, so definitely stay tuned for that.
Oh yes. It is personally one of my absolute favourite fan game / ROM hack related things out there, so very much looking forward to getting my teeth into that one.
Cool.
But that said, I have also enjoyed BTS. It's given me a greater appreciation for ATS, especially, because you see how a lot of the ideas and the themes that they've used for that have kind of evolved as time went on. And it just gives you that appreciation for how well ATS executed it from that point onward.
What is this song, actually?
I actually don't know.
It's not copyrighted, is it?
I don't think so. I'm like 90% sure it isn't.
Well, if it is, Flame can change it and figure it out.
Yeah. And then we got the remix of all the various tunes.
Hell yeah.
Guys, I don't know, but LakeFeperd might have had some involvement in this game.
There are rumours. Whispers. Dimitri says this is a vocal version of Sunset Star Zone.
Oh. Very nice.
Hey, there's Falk.
Yes, lots of Falk. Bit of funk fiction. And some KGZ.
Oh, I can't believe Rustar actually worked on this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, makes sense. I mean, he hasn't been doing very much after his game, so he had to be doing something in his spare time.
Well, I guess so, yeah. Special tanks. And everyone else.
At SFG HQ. It goes through the, oh yeah, of course! The DX version actually has 2 soundtracks. If I remember correctly. But I wanted to go with the original one because, of course, it's the original one. And I wanted to keep it as close to sort of how I remember it as I possibly could.
Sure, mate. Yep, there's Stunt Race FX.
Oh yeah. Top Gear 2. No, that does not have any relation to the TV show of the same name. Though it might. You can just imagine this is X starts. Ah, there's that Kirby remix.
Yeah, buddy.
Sonic Megamix Mania also had some involvement.
Well, these are fairly meaty fan games. I'm not surprised the credits go on a little bit.
Yeah. Well, actually, at ATS, the credits are interactive. And they actually have little snippets from, like, I guess you could call it behind-the-scenes stuff. So they go through, like, where all the inspirations for some of the zones came from and, like, what their intent behind them were. But we'll get to that one when we finish ATS, which shall be coming up in just a little bit. But I need to take a quick break before we do. But there we go. We have thanks for playing spelled correctly this time, so it's okay. It's all it's all lined out now.
Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, Volk, thanks for having me, and don't go anywhere, y'all, because after a short break, we'll be back when Volk plays Sonic after the sequel.
Yep, don't go anywhere.